in any way, shape, or form deprive or discriminate against students who are not able to afford the fees that you are charging. The fees are not obligatory.
As most of our children start the new school year, we urge school administrators to heed Prime Minister Andrew Holness's call. Our children are our future. Their attainment of an education is the solid foundation on which we will build Jamaica as a place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. Thanks for joining us on another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson, your host for today's show. We kick things off with a word of advice, followed by the news.
How well do you know your child? What he or she likes or dislikes? Favorite food or color? How about who their friends are? Make the time. Get to know your child. It helps to build their relationship. Makes it easy to keep them safe, and it helps their development process.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your GIS News for Tuesday, September 4. Government has set up two funds to incentivize information sharing by the public. The first is a $100 million fund for information leading to the recovery of firearms, ammunition, and explosives. The reward program will be administered by Crime Stop and is an island-wide initiative by the Ministry of National Security.
The reward depends obviously on the type of weapon that is recovered. So, for rifles and submachine guns, the reward is $150,000. For semi-automatic pistols and shotguns, the reward is $100,000. For revolvers, $75,000. And for explosives and ammunition, the person giving the information, depending on the quantity of what is recovered, the reward is negotiated.
The second fund, valued at $20 million, is a fugitive apprehension reward scheme. $1 million each will be given for information leading to the arrest of the island's top 20 most wanted violence producers.
We are encouraging the people of Jamaica to participate in the fight against crime by giving information.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was speaking after Sunday's tour of Mount Salem St. James. Mount Salem was on September 1 declared a zone of special operations. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has declared a 5-day moratorium on illegal weapons found on premises within Mount Salem. Mr. Holness explained that the objective of the Joint Command's search operations over the next 5 days was to retrieve firearms, not prosecute.
This is being done to encourage citizens to work with the police, to cooperate with the joint force, to give information where the guns are, so that they who share information would not face the jeopardy of possibly being wrongfully arrested when they were merely trying to help by giving information for the discovery of a firearm. But this will only last for 5 days. After that, the police will return to the strict application of the law.
And Prime Minister Andrew Holness says a special fund will be established to secure ID cards for high school students in the Mount Salem zone of special operation. Responding to concern that some students do not have identification cards, Mr. Holness assured that the ground commanders would exercise discretion in dealing with students heading back to school. He said students will have free movement in and out of the community as they go back to school.
All high school students, once in uniform, will have a great degree of freedom to enter and exit. Students should also have IDs, but once they are in uniform, they would not be pressed for IDs if they don't have IDs. This will last for the duration of the back to school period, which for our purposes would end next week, Sunday.
And finally, Monday's start of the new academic year was incident-free for administrators, and students are now benefiting from improved school environments.
I'm very, very satisfied that we have another very smooth start to another school year, and there's a lot of excitement that we expect for this year.
Education Minister Ruel Reid spoke with JIS News at Half-Way Primary School as part of his tour of 4 schools this morning. Meanwhile, in his back-to-school message, Minister Reid said much work has been done to lay the foundation for improved student performance.
Therefore, under the National Textbook Loan Scheme and the Primary Textbook Program, the Ministry of Education is spending approximately $800 million on books for the new school year. The delivery of books to schools has started and will be completed by October 6, 2017.
According to the Education Minister, 175 schools were identified for repairs at a cost of $554.3 million under the Schools Maintenance Project. Delivery of furniture to schools started in July and is to be completed during the last week in September. Minister Reid added that 117 basic schools will be converted into 56 infant departments. The ministry's special education unit will also place 1,474 students in special education facilities at a cost of $57 million.
Together, we must build on that partnership and stakeholder engagement this year as we continue to work for the educational development of our children and overall economic growth in our country. So we start this new school year with a great sense of hope that our united efforts will lead to better education outcomes.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is committed to ensuring that every Jamaican child has the best learning environment to thrive and needs your cooperation to make the education system work successfully. That is why we are ensuring that all Jamaicans have full access to secondary education. Tuition is free of cost to you, but the government can't pay for everything, so do continue with your voluntary contributions. These contributions cover the expenses of co-curricular and sports activities and school development projects. We have also increased our support for PATH students. That's right, PATH students are not expected to make contributions, and they will be provided with 5 days of free lunches. We know that a hungry child cannot learn. The ministry has implemented a literature book rental program, free insurance and IDs for PATH students in high schools. This government cares for you. We believe that every child can learn. Every child must learn.
Last week, we saw Prime Minister Andrew Holness traveling to the Republic of Chile to strengthen relations with that South American country. That and other news from the Office of the Prime Minister next.
I have officially declared the first zone of special security and community development operations. The zone is now declared in the Mount Salem area and environs. All our discussions have been fruitful. Jamaica and Chile have developed a strong partnership since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1963.
On Friday, September 1, Prime Minister Andrew Holness signed an order declaring Mount Salem and surrounding areas in St. James as the first zone of special operations. The zone will be in effect for the next 60 days. Under the Law Reform Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Act, the Prime Minister is empowered to declare a zone in consultation with the National Security Council. The declaration seeks to contain crime while safeguarding the human rights of residents and promoting community development through social intervention initiatives.
The rule of law must be upheld and preserved in every nook and cranny of Jamaica. We can no longer afford any area to provide a safe haven for criminals to hide. Zone by zone, community by community, square inch by square inch, we will establish and restore public order, citizen security, and public safety. We will make Jamaica safe again.
The zone is being manned by Major Godfrey Sterling of the JDF and Superintendent Kirk Ricketts of the JCF. Omar Sweeney has been named Deputy Commissioner of the Social Intervention Committee to be established within 5 working days of the declaration of the zone. The Prime Minister was also quick to add that the human rights of citizens would be upheld, pointing to certain safeguards that have been implemented. Among them, members of the Joint Security Forces having visible name badges and special patches. The Prime Minister said there would be no restrictions on media involvement in the zones of special operations. He asked media personnel to seek accreditation through the Jamaica Information Service and then make contact with the ground commanders before entering a zone.
There is absolutely no intention to in any way limit the press other than for its own security, the security of operations in the area, and to maintain the strategic element of surprise and information operations, which are critical in the execution of the other strategies that are being and measures that are being employed to make the zones successful.
A Zone of Special Operations Communications Unit was established to ensure information coming out of the area is both timely and accurate. The unit is spearheaded by Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and Major Basil Jarrett of the Jamaica Defence Force. On Sunday, the Prime Minister travelled to Mount Salem, St. James to get a first-hand view of the progress being made within the zone of operations. He met with residents and got feedback on the operation. Following the tour, the Prime Minister held a press conference where he announced 2 crime-fighting reward funds. One, a $100 million fund for information leading to the recovery of firearms, ammunition, and explosives. And the other, a $20 million fugitive apprehension fund for the 20 most wanted criminals in Jamaica.
This is a great incentive for the public to tell what you know. Fighting crime pays.
Prime Minister Holness also assured parents in the zone ahead of the start of the new school year that their children will have free movement in and out of Mount Salem.
Parents in the zone, we are encouraging you to start the back-to-school day just a little bit earlier to ensure that if there are any eventualities that your child is not impacted.
Earlier in the week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness travelled to the Republic of Chile for a one-day official visit. The visit culminated in Jamaica signing 2 cooperation agreements with a South American nation. The countries signed an agreement on sport to support Jamaica sharing technical knowledge in athletics, and Chile providing expertise on grass hockey, tennis, and gymnastics. The other agreement was signed between Pro Chile and JAMPRO, focusing on the promotion of trade and people-to-people exchanges. In addition to bilateral talks with President Michelle Bachelet, Mr. Holness met with business leaders in the hotel and tourism industry, as well as a delegation from Chile's National Chamber of Commerce, Services and Tourism. While in Chile, Prime Minister Holness also attended a working meeting at the headquarters of the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean. And he participated in a floral tribute to the monument of the liberator General Bernardo O'Higgins. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us again next time for more of the stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
What I'm here to do is to give you a brief on the zones of special operations from the policy perspective. In other words, what is it that the government of Jamaica hopes to achieve by implementing zones of special operations? Part of your operations in the zone is to restore the trust and confidence of the citizens. Your job is to convert the citizens into your crime-fighting allies. Let me put it this way. This is not a 1 week or 2 week deployment. It's a long-term deployment. And we are not going to call off a zone until we are satisfied that the elements that created the problem have been displaced and would not be able to return and set up back their operations.
Getting back to the routine of waking up early in the morning to get ready for school may take a while for most. This next feature should assist in making things easier.
Our next dish will be sardine and cheese fritter. The ingredients are simple. We'll be adding about ½ pound of flour. Then to that we'll add the sardine. Sapphire will be helping me to add them. And a bit of onions. And seasoning for taste. Basically any cheese can be used. Any one of your choice. Just a bit of baking powder.
And how many family members would that serve for?
This should serve up to 6 family members. So Sapphire will be incorporating all the ingredients now. Just stir them, Sapphire. And we'll add a bit of water. It's a very quick dish to make and it's cost effective.
And how long does this take?
This should take no longer than 2 minutes. This dish is full or filled with a lot of calcium that comes from the cheese and also omega-3 that comes from the sardine. And as we established before, that omega-3 is good for the heart, it prevents from heart disease. And that's basically it. We'll now move over to the fire. So basically what we'll be doing is just spooning a bit of the mixture into the fryer.
And how many per serving?
I would say 6. Give it a quick flip. And as you can see, it's almost done.
Wow, it really takes 3 minutes.
Even less than 3 minutes. So this is another quick and easy way to make breakfast. We're now joined by Balford Carr, and he'll be assisting in making the breakfast smoothie. The ingredients we'll be using for the smoothie are banana, which is a good source of potassium and vitamin C. We also have mangoes, which is also a good source of vitamin C, A and B. Pineapples, another good source of vitamins. We also have oatmeal, which is a good source of fiber. To add to that, we have milk. But if you are vegan, the substitutes for it is almond milk or coconut milk. We know kids don't like spinach, so what we're doing today is disguising the spinach in the shake. And fruits are said to disguise vegetables.
So what can you use instead of spinach?
You can substitute spinach with callaloo, kale, or string beans. Those are good sources of iron. That's a bit of syrup just to add color. Because you know, people eat with their eyes first, especially kids. So just to make this shake a bit more attractive or pleasant to the eye, appealing to the eye. If you don't have a NutriBullet, you can use a regular blender. Yeah, go ahead.
And can that be substituted for a meal?
Yes, it can. It has all the essential vitamins and nutrients.
Wow, the juice is looking lovely, Chef Plummer. So, as you said, this is a serving that you'd normally give to a child?
Yes, that's the recommended serving for ages between ages 5 to 11. It's recommended that they get about 8 ounces of juice in one night. So I think that's enough for them.
Okay.
Remember, your body is not going to process more nutrients than it needs, so that's enough nutrients for the body, just for the moment.
Okay. So how's it tasting, Sapphire?
Great.
You sure?
Yes.
Wow. Boy, I must say, you know, at first I was a bit skeptical about these meal ideas, especially the first one. But you see, quick and easy to prepare and also nutritious. Don't they look nice?
Yes.
Boy, I can't wait to start. Come on, Sapphire, join me and have. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Speeding through life and the traffic lights till somebody get hurt and the tears start cry. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives. Make the road safe whether day or night, for pedestrians, passengers, cars and bikes. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives.
Hey man, it's our job to keep the road them safe. Have to take care of the youth them so we know them safe. And obey the road code, don't race. No bother with the speeding case, make face and check your light them on your tires and brakes. Riders on the pillions who left the helmet. I put on the cell phone, no send no text. No matter what color they on your plate.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt for keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place when you're on the road.
Hey, follow me. Well, everybody drive good and walk good. Then teach the youth them how to cross good. I beg you obey the road signs, park good. And put the young ones in a car seats, all good. And everybody drive good and walk good. And we say young and old, I beg you gas good. Remember the dark clothes at night, that is not good. From you I use up the sidewalk, it's all good.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, when you're on the road.
New school year, increased traffic, and of course, more children using our roadways. Their safety is of paramount importance. Take a look.
Life in any form is a gift too precious to measure. The birth of brand new possibilities and exciting potential for whatever. For those at the early stages of this journey, it is expected that the ones who are older, those in positions of guardianship, will take the steps necessary to ensure their safety in all areas, not least of all as they travel from one destination to another.
I think every single adult who is a driver has a tremendous responsibility, not only for the safety of children, but the safety of other drivers, pedestrians. Driving comes with a tremendous responsibility, and it's up to you to remain alert, particularly when it comes to children. We are their guardians.
Children are among our most vulnerable road users. It's why the Ministry of Transport and Works, and particularly the Road Safety Unit, has spent time coming up with measures to ensure that the traffic environment for them is as safe as possible.
The law comes down very heavily on the side of children when we act irresponsibly, and as a result they are injured.
Laws like the Road Traffic Act, the Child Care and Protection Act, and the Protective Devices legislation speak to the issue in some way.
I want drivers to stop when I am at the pedestrian crossing.
Drivers who ignore the prompting of a traffic warden to stop before reaching the place where children are crossing or seeking to cross, or who put the vehicle in motion before the children have completely crossed the road, commit an offense under the Road Traffic Act. The Ministry of Transport and Works is also doing its part to ensure that pedestrian crossings are maintained, sidewalks are provided, and appropriate signs are installed, including at designated school zones.
I think parents really need to ensure that children are trained as to how to cross the road.
Yo, this is We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. We're ever ready to assist you before, during, and after a disaster. But everybody have a role to play, so make we work together and follow the plan. Whether rich or poor or where you come from, hurricanes affect everyone, so be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. Be prepared. Listen to OPM.
A message from the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management.
And that's our show. Be sure to join us again tomorrow around about the same time on this station for another information-packed magazine program. If you're not near a television screen, worry not. We're available at your leisure online. Visit jis.gov.jm, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And what's even more convenient is our mobile app with all the latest government information. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.